So I bet some of y'all is wondering, what in the hell is Morbid Metal? And that's a good question, because that was some of the same questions that I had when I seen it. So just based off of the first looks of Morbid Metals, it kind of looks like it's gonna be a heavily focused like action game where you just constantly getting into fight after fight after fight. And if you was assuming that, then you would also be right about that too, because when you actually get onto the page and you're trying to look at exactly what the hell this game is, it even lets you know it's an action RPG roguelike kind of game. When I seen it, something that grabbed my attention pretty damn quick was probably the way the characters looked. And then when I seen how they was fighting, I was like, ooh, this look good. You know what I'm saying? Like, I like the way the action looks in this game. So I just wanted to find out what it was about. And I seen, oh, it's in early access. It's not even a fully developed game yet. And then I get onto Steam and I'm like, yo, let me put that on my wish list. And I see that you can actually get into it right now, but it's locked behind a paywall. Early access, but you gotta pay for the early access? That's a little weird. If it's like a demo, why I gotta pay for it? You know what I mean? But whatever, it was like $13, so I ended up paying for the game to see exactly what it's like for myself. And to be honest with y'all, man, it wasn't a bad experience. The game ran really smooth. The controls, I didn't feel any kind of input lag. It was very responsive. I mean, the game itself looked pretty nice. I was a little surprised by that. I was like, oh shit, this is like a nice looking game. It's pretty. And then obviously the combos and everything like that, the action in there, top notch. And it should be, if that's what they selling point is, if this game is to focus primarily on the action. So aside from just noticing all of those things, when I was playing up in the game, I was kind of noticing like it's almost feeling like it's bringing back somewhat of a lost art in gaming, which is like just that arcade-ish style of gameplay where you get into one stage, you fight a whole bunch of enemies, you clear that, you run around, you might look for some health or some items to help boost your attack, and then you hit the next stage, and then you're doing the same thing over and over until you finally get to the boss. But Morbid Metal feels like it's just a little bit different because there's like, I guess you could call it somewhat of a story up in the game. There's this robotic lady. I don't know who she is. Nobody really knows because you just get thrown into the game. But she's kind of talking to you about things and saying, you know, like work with him or be cautious of him. And she just keeps saying him. And then when you finally get thrown into the game, you hear whoever him is, and he's kind of testing you in this way where he's throwing all these different robots at you that you got to go up against, and they progressively get harder the more and more you get into the next stage and the next stage and so on and so forth. At this point, I was already thinking like, oh, I could see some of the appeal to this. This is a game where it's like, yeah, you obviously have to focus because you need to be aware of all the enemies attacking you at once, and you got to be able to dodge, you got to be able to chain some combos together and all these different things. There's even obstacle courses to get to the next stage on certain areas. But at some point, once you kind of just adventure around and everything, you start to see that there are other characters that you can get. They become a part of the crew, and you can use them and in real time, like no real delay or nothing like that, switch between characters and combat to get your combos and do some crazy shit. I ain't gonna lie, that is fire to me. You know what I'm saying? I like that kind of tag team stylish play. There's no delay or anything like that, but I did notice that every so often, again, it's early access so they can change it, when I would switch between characters, sometimes I wouldn't get any character. I would actually just be invisible and not even in the game anymore. The enemies are attacking, I'm not taking damage because I'm not there. So I have to push the button again to switch to one of the characters, and then it will work. Again, y'all keep in mind early access, so that's something that they can fix out. I even did report it and tell them like, yo, it's a bug in the game. I think it happens sometimes when you just swapping characters. I would like to say that's where the bad that I kind of took notice to would stop, but it's not. So this is just my take. Take it with a grain of salt. You know what I'm saying? Do your own research, get in the game yourself and see for yourself. But this is what I took from the game. At some point, it feels like you're not really progressing in the stage. You know, it feels like you just doing a big ass circle over and over. And especially if you die. If you die, you start what looks like at the beginning, but then it kind of just throws you in the first stage of the beginning. And then the second you clear that level and you move forward, now you might be in another random ass spot that you might have went through a while ago. It's real weird and it didn't really make sense. So I was like, I don't really know. Am I progressing? Did it start me all the way back over at zero? Where am I? You know what I mean? Like, how do I know I'm progressing to the boss fight or whatever the case may be. Now, the next thing I wouldn't say is necessarily a negative. I was just confused by it, where I think I get the idea where once you die, I want to assume you lose your perks and upgrades, but I'm not really sure. There's no real way to tell what upgrades you're actually keeping, or hey, am I swapping this upgrade out for the other one? Because once you get an upgrade, you see like, hey, do extra damage with this, stun your enemy with this. But after every other stage, you are kind of getting those upgrades regularly. And now it's like, am I replacing this one? Like, they let you know you're replacing your ultimate, but they don't let you know if you're replacing other skills with this, or if it's stacking with the skill that you got the last time. So it's just like, there's no real indication on letting you know, hey, you're boosting up your damage to get X amount of damage. It's just like, hey, do you want to do 5 more damage? Sure. Hey, do you want to do stun? Sure. Hey, do you want to do 6 more damage? And you're like, okay, is that stacking? Or is it just giving me 1 extra damage? You know what I mean? Like, you don't know. And the last thing that I would say is it almost kind of felt like it was repetitive. Now, again, it might not feel that way when the official game drops, but it felt that way to me because, again, like I said earlier, it felt like I was just going in circles and I wasn't really progressing nowhere. Now, it's not like this open world game where it's like, oh, okay, you just got lost. No, they have certain directions for you to go. There is a door with the arrow letting you know this is the way you're supposed to go. There are other doors there, but it's just like, hey, if you go through this one, you'll find an item. If you go through this one, you'll find some health orbs. You know what I'm saying? It's not going to progress you. The game is leading you in the direction that you are forced to go. So that's why I'm like, am I getting anywhere? And that's, for me anyways, why I was like, oh, it's starting to feel a little bit repetitive and I'm not getting nowhere. Now, it's not that it's not an enjoyable game and you can't have fun with it, because I think you can. I think this is going to be one of them games where you turn this on and you just want to get up in there and you want to get style points, because that is something the game focuses on. The better you do, the cooler combos that you have, not just like the same old repetitive moves over and over. Like Devil May Cry, they're going to give you style points, so you can go all the way up to an S, and I would assume a F, but it doesn't even say F. You just don't get a grade. So in that regard, I could definitely see the fun, and I would actually play it every so often, just kind of like on some downtime. If I didn't really feel like doing too much, I didn't want to go up against another person, maybe I didn't really care too much about playing a story mode game, I just wanted to like get into a game where I can just hack and slash all day. This is definitely one of them games. Just needs to be refined in some areas. But for this game to feel damn near completely optimized and really good controls and everything like that, I would say that's not bad, man. This is a solid game. I think it's cool. I enjoyed it. Again, I would make some of those changes if I was the devs. All in all, I think this game is good. If you somebody that likes to play roguelike games, you like that action hack and slash, you know, you go through stage and the enemies progressively get harder the further and further you go, this is the perfect game for you. But you guys let me know what you think, man. Did this game look interesting? Does it sound interesting? Does it sound like it's gonna fit into your rotation of games? Or maybe it's just a game that you've been kind of waiting for, where it's like, I just need something where I can hack and slash and look cool while doing it. Let me know down in the comment section. And while you're down there, man, hit the hype button. It only lasts for about 7 days of the video being up, and it just pushes the video out to more viewers, and I would appreciate that very, very much. So I look forward to catching you on the next one. Thank y'all so much, and peace and air grease.